7, F, F minor. Everybody's here. All right. So I think I want to say I think the class that Sunpai did this morning, I think that he was confused. I sound like President Trump, I know. He was very confused. Not really. No, I think he was supposed to do a class about himself. And he didn't really do a class about himself. So we're going to try to maybe reschedule that, switch that out for one of the other classes later on another day. So yes, hi Bunny, are you waving at me or are you just?
Introduce my husband.
Sorry?
I wanted to introduce my husband.
Oh, please, please.
This is Stephen.
Hi, Stephen. Oh, I've seen pictures of the two of you. That's right. Yeah. Nice to see you.
Just so you know, he's here.
He's the classical guitarist.
Yes.
Well, he should pick up a guitar also. Yeah, for sure.
I just broke a string on my guitar, so.
Oh, sure. That's what they all say.
I know it sounds like that, but it's actually true in this.
Oh, okay. All right.
It's
Well,
great to meet you.
it looks like we got a full house. I think we're going to just go ahead and start. So let's see. Gary Davis. I never met him. I met his wife. When he toured and I was living in Denver, I missed that. They were talking about this. Dan McCrimmon was talking about it this morning, where he put his teeth on the on the table. I missed that one, but I sure heard about it. And anyway, very inventive player. So we're going to learn a couple of tunes today, and we can start by just playing the chords to them, and then we're going to use the tab, which hopefully you've all downloaded. If not, it's the two songs, I Saw the Light, which is not the Hank Williams I Saw the Light, and I Will Do My Last Singing in This World Somewhere. So I'll give you a second if you need to download those. That's where the chord progression and the tab both are. So I think we'll start with I Saw the Light, which is just basically a 3-chord song. I feel like I'm yelling. Can you hear me if I talk like this? Okay, then I'm going to stop yelling. Great. C, F, and G. And the one lick that is repeated goes like this. Let's see if I can, am I in the picture? So that is, geez, it's hard to fit in this box. There. On the tab, there's a little X, which means you don't play on the second beat, but you play on the end of second beat. So it goes open, 1, 3, 1, open, first fret, second string. And the rhythm of it is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So try that with me here. Ready? And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And you're using an index and third finger, right? So ready, and then you can just do the G note in the bass and a strum and back to the C. And you want to hear that resolve on that second string. I have it written a little differently. So when I go to the G, I pinch 6 and 3, 2 and 5, 1 and 5. And then I have it written slightly differently down below when it happens again, staggered 1 and 2, 3. And that's more like Gary Davis would have played it with that little bit of syncopation in there. So he did it 1 and 2, 3, 4. So you can do it as simply as you want, or use either one of these measures that follows that little single note lick.
Mary, the tab is cut off on the fourth measure, the G. So all I can see is the pinch 3020, but then the rest of it's cut off.
Okay, the last, oh, that's weird. The last, so you got the pinch, the
You got
3020,
the 30 and the
and
20.
then you go to a C and you pinch 2 and 5.
So, okay. And that's the third beat. So what's the fourth beat?
There is no fourth beat. That it's got little
Okay.
tails, which mean to hold those notes.
Okay. Thank you.
And that will work for the last measure of the song, but as I say, I've got that written a little bit differently. Nothing else is cut off, right?
No, rest of it's good.
Let's just play the chords. And if there's not a chord above a measure, it means hang on that measure for the same chord, the previous chord. So notice measure 2 is a split measure, 2 beats on F, 2 beats on C. And there are places in the song where we'll hold the C chord for 2 measures and sometimes for the G chord for 3 measures. So we're just going to play chords. I'm going to alternate the bass just like this very slowly. Give you a feel for the song. 1, 2, ready. One morning I was walking along. I saw the light from G back to C. Repeat that good old voice. Saw no one. I saw the light G to C. Second line. I saw that light, Lord G. I saw that light, good Lord, back to C. I saw light, Lord. I saw the light, G, heaven coming down. Again, from the top. You play the chords. G, C. Okay, so that's the basic chord structure. And you can get by with just singing the song and playing those chords with alternating thumb and being just fine. But let's put it into a different context here. And like I said, this is kind of the way I remember hearing John Cephas play it, and played it, you know, with my own in there, my own arrangement in there. This so you might find Gary Davis's to be a little bit different, but this is a great key to do it in. Once the rhythm of that little lick is really important, and it's really hard to remember that there's happens on the second beat, but there's something on the end of the second beat. So that little third measure goes 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Try it again. Ready and. It's almost like Pop Goes the Weasel. it's really simple like that. So now I've got some kind of interesting bass notes in that first measure. So I'll go C, 5 strum, the open 6th string, which is an E note. There's an E in that chord, which is fine. But that E acts as a little bit of a bass run back or to the F and then back to the C. So all right, and then here comes the last 2 measures, which you already know. Ready and. Let's do it again. Ready and. Let's repeat it. Good. Okay, so you'll see that very same little single note ending thing. Again, the last two measures of the song. And so that means you already know it. So we got the two inside lines now that you've not yet done. So I prefer to, I'm getting a little bit of melody instead of just strums. I'm hitting the bass of the C. This is second line, first measure. And just alternate the bass and come back and pinch strings 2 and 4. Once again, it's, oh. Right? So pinch, pinch, alternating bass, pinch. Now I'm going to stretch up here to the 4th fret, and I know nobody likes using your pinky. It's a terrible thing, but you can do it. Stretch up there and use fingers 3 and your pinky for the 4th fret on strings 2 and 4. And this is an 8th note, so we've got 1 and, so I've got pinch, open first string, and then a quick strum on the treble strings. 1 and 2, and back to a C strum. Let's do those, just those 2 measures. Here we go. Ready, and. Okay. I'm going to stop right here and ask if there are questions yet about anything we've done so far. Have I
Mary-
managed to confuse you?
Mary, when you go up to the 4th fret there and you play the strum, are you strumming just the open strings, or are you going back to the C?
Yeah, you've taken your fingers off the 4th fret and the strings are open and you want, let's see, the sound. Let's see. I'm basically hitting strings 2 and 3 open, but it's not, it's kind of gone in a flash. So we're kind of just filling up a space because there is no melody there. So one more time, those first 2 measures of the second line. Here we go. Ready, and stretch up. Good. Okay, keep on now. 3rd measure, second line to a G chord and pitch 1 and 6 and alternate your bass. It's pretty simple. Pinch, pinch. Now we're going to do something that might sound a little bit dissonant to you. It is dissonant. A couple of places sound dissonant, but that's okay. So I'm going to go up here to the 6th fret of the 1st and 3rd strings. And once again, using my pinky and my 3rd finger. So I'm 6th fret, take it to the 5th fret, take it to the 3rd fret, open first string, and a short little strum on a couple of strings there, treble strings. So once again, that's 6th fret, pinch, 5th fret, 3rd fret, open. So let's go back a measure to the last measure of the 2nd line. We're on a G chord. And let's play that and continue into the next measure. So we've got a G, pinch the 2 outside strings and alternate up to the 6th fret. Let's look at the right hand. What happens here on that little 6th fret? So I use thumb and index to do that pinch. Thumb and index again, thumb and index. Then the index finger comes up and hits that open first string. Then thumb goes down for the strum. So pinch, 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 open with the index finger. Thumb gets the open strings. Done this part yet? Yes, we have. Oh boy, another part that repeats that you already know. So we are at the 2nd measure of the 3rd line. We're on a C chord, all we're going to do is some pinching and alternating bass and no moving notes really. So here's the pinch, 1 and 5. I'm sorry, 2 and 5. Up to that 4th fret, pinch again. And then here comes the last line. Ready, and. And there I've broken up that's kind of a broken sound, that 1, 1 and 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2, 3, 4. Okay. So let's try the whole thing in slow motion. This is going to be kind of the Valium treatment here. We're going to really go slowly. And if you're not ready for the tab, that's fine. Just play chords and it'll sound great together. So some of us playing melody and some of us playing chords. And then the chord is the melody is pretty much follows how you would sing it if you use your imagination a little bit. So, so here we go from the top very slowly. The tab if you can. 1, 2, 3. One morning, I can't sing it this slowly. We'll just play it. Repeat that. Line 2. To a G. 6th fret. Let's do it again from the top. I was walking along. I saw the light from heaven coming down. Again, heard a little voice, saw no one. I saw that light, Lord. I saw that light, good Lord. I saw that. I saw the light from heaven coming down. One more time. Second line. So how's that
Mary,
feel so
there's
far?
Yeah, I think there's a mistake in the tab.
No,
Yeah.
couldn't
On the
be.
last, on the run on the 3rd line, first paragraph, first measure, the very last note, you have it as an F, but I think you're playing the C note, just like you do the first time through.
Say again, you're on the 3rd line, 3rd measure?
Oh, bottom line, first measure. It's an F instead of a C on the last note.
The last note of those that run,
Oh,
that
sorry.
treble
Yeah,
first string run.
move that 1 to the 2nd line.
And
I'm gonna
then
have to have a
in the
talk with
next,
my administrator, my secretary.
and then in the next,
Get
in
trusted.
the next measure, are you hitting the C again?
Okay, remember I said so the last measure can be played exactly like the last measure in the first line.
Okay.
I just staggered it a bit. So I broke up that instead of playing it together. went 1 and 2, 3, which is how Gary Davis would have been more likely to play it. He would have been syncopated all the way through. So does everyone have it so far? Are there any comments or?
Mary, I couldn't tell, was there a mistake or in
Yeah.
what you wrote?
Yes, okay. So the first measure of the last line, that 1 at the end of the measure should be on the second string. So that lick should be exactly like the one in the third measure of the song.
Thank you.
Any other questions or mistakes? Okay, who just played that? Let's get the rhythm straight. So if you clap with me. Ready, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Ready, and 1. It's human nature to want to play that second beat, but you just can't do it. Bum, 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 right? There's no pull off. There's no, it's just straight, just hit them. Just pick them. Pick them, Wilson. And then let's see. So here's a little something I do with the verse. So what is the verse and what's the chorus? The first 2 lines is pretty much the verse. One morning I was walking along, I saw the light from heaven come down. I heard a little voice, I saw no one. I saw the light from heaven coming down. So that's those first 2 lines of repeat, right? Then we've got the chorus. So I saw that light, Lord. I saw that light, good Lord. I saw the light. I saw the light from heaven coming down. So in the verse, here's what I kind of constructed to make it a little bit different is right. So the 2 measures that are different would be measures 1 and 2. I go up to the 4th fret, which you're used to doing because we do that in the second measure of the second line, down to a C shape, just a 2-finger C shape, back to here. So I am happy and the devil is sad, or gonna argue with the father, gonna chat with the son. And then comes the last 2 measures. That's sort of an optional little thing that you can do that's kind of, I think it's kind of clever myself. So it's not melody, but it's something you can throw in there for the first 2 measures of the verse. So everybody up to date? One okay. How many of you feel like this is it's a possibility to get this tab? You can probably get it if you don't have it already. Raise your hand. I just want to see kind of okay. And the rest of you are okay with playing chords?
You're saying
Singing,
who has
maybe.
the tab?
Pardon?
You asked who has the tab?
Say again?
I said I was able to get the tab from the resource folder. Is that what you were asking?
I was asking how many of you, no, I mean, how many of you think you can get, meaning how many of you think you can master the tab pretty easily and play it down the road? It's doable for you.
There's other Gary Davis songs I've learned, 2 different ones that have the same part you just taught me. The one that has the like
Oh, yeah, I am the light of this world. Is that?
Uh-huh.
I haven't learned that one, but there's one John D. Rockefeller that has that there's just like he uses stuff over in different songs, doesn't
Yeah, he
And
does.
the words remind me of Have a Little More Faith. to.
I don't know
some-
that one. But yeah, he does use stuff all over but yet each song is totally unique. So go figure. It's really a beautiful, he does beautiful arrangements. So as we're going to find out in the second song here. So well, I think we might move ahead and maybe if there's time at the end, come back and play through this again. Make sure everybody just kind of has a little bit of a review. Let's go to, I will do my last singing. And this one, I told you, I have done my last singing for this because it is just impossible to sing. As I said last night, the low is too low and the high is too high. Maybe I'll make Christina sing this at some point, or one of you would like to sing it. But it's really, it's a crazy stretch, and I don't know who could sing it, but it's really a beautiful song. Let's look at the chords because we're in the key of D, but it uses all kinds of chords. The B7, the E, the A, D, G, F sharp 7. Some of you might have learned to play a bar chord at the 2nd fret, like an E7 with a bar. I want to show you an easier way to play an F sharp 7. If you have, oh, that was my mail just got pitched through my mail slot. Take an F chord at the 2nd fret, a simple 3-finger F chord, and lift your finger off the 1st string. So you have your 7th part of the chord is that open 1st string. Why can't I get there? So you're going to be coming from a D. So if you go from a D, that's a very simple way to play it. Another way to get it is to bar the, is that right? Bar the 2nd fret and add a finger on the 3rd string, 1st fret of that. Just bar 4 strings. But I think your simplest bet, if you're looking for an easy way to play it, is 3 fingers. Okay, here's another way. We used this chord this morning, and this is that it sort of looks like an upside down B7. 2nd fret, 6th string, 2nd fret, 4th string, 3rd fret, 3rd string, and 2nd fret, 2nd string. This is my bar chord aversion avoidance chord. So I'll use this anytime, or for a minor 7th equivalent, it's just the same shape moved over. So it kind of looks like a D chord with an extra note in the bass. So if you want a stronger chord with a stronger sounding bass, that's a good way to do it. So we got 3 ways, well, 4 ways. We got your F sharp 7, like you learned it 25 years ago. Or we got the 3-finger way, where the 7th is on top. Or we got the all 4 fingers down. Or we got the short bar. So any of those ways for your F sharp 7. Now, there's a really interesting chord progression in the 3rd line. Doo-doo, doo-doo-doo. Let's see. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da. That's where you think it's going to go, is to the E7. But no. And the first time I heard it, I thought he was going to a diminished chord. And the more I listened to it, the more I realized it was not that. It was a B flat 7. Let's see. Because it has so many of the similar notes to the diminished. Just 1 note difference. So it looks like a 7 with a short bar on the 3rd fret. So that's what I'm playing for my B flat 7. So look at that last measure of the third line, if you would, for a second on your tab. I have 2 chords over that. What I'm saying is you could actually play either one, or maybe I didn't write that in. It might just say G sharp diminished. Okay, after that, you can write or B flat 7. So you got a choice. And then there's also, of course, an
Or what,
E7.
Or what? Or what?
You've got a choice between a G sharp diminished or a B flat 7. Wait, I'm sorry. So the G sharp diminished. See, I may have screwed up. Boy, now I've got myself confused. Let's just do this. Let's play a B flat 7 there instead. And then that's gonna how the Rev played it. So 3rd fretboard looks just like an A7 with a short bar. That's telling me my internet connection is unstable. So am I. So what? There, it went away. Okay. So, and those are really the only 2 chords in there. The F sharp 7, which we learned when we can play as a 3-finger chord, or the B flat 7, which play at the 3rd fret. Everything else is a standard major or 7th chord that you know. Okay? We're not going to look at the tab. Let's go through the chords. The tab, as you can see, there isn't much of it because he mostly played chords, but what there is of it is really beautiful. So let's just look at the chords for now. We're going to start with measure 2. As you can see, those notes leading up to it, we're just going to start with measure 2. So it's kind of a partial measure. So 2 beats on the B7, 2 beats on the E7, 2 beats on this. So those are, they're all split measures really up until the end of the 2nd line. So you can just do 2 strums on each chord. Let's start with the D. 1, 2, ready. B7, E7, A7, D, G, A. Here's the F sharp 7 as a 3-finger chord, B7, E7, A7. That's your little break. We're on the 3rd line, 2nd measure, D, F sharp 7, G, B flat 7. Oh, I screwed up. Let me see if I messed up something there in terms of that B flat 7, how long it lasts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. No, I didn't. Okay, good. That's a relief. All right. So that's the chord structure. It's beautiful. It's very churchy and some unexpected chords. And like I said, where the B flat 7 is where you would think it would go to an E, but it doesn't. So it's kind of cool that way. Okay, well, I'm going to forget that diminished chord. So let's look at the little pieces of melody that he has in here. It's very small. So we got just some pinches there at the beginning. I will do my. we've got a, like an A7 pinch, then we've got a slant chord pinch on the same 2 strings, and then 1 and 3 pinch. Let's just do that little run on the beginning measure. Open pinch, 2nd fret, 4th, 3 and 4, and then it goes into a D.
Left hand, please. Left
Sorry?
hand, please. Left
Sorry?
hand.
Oh, sorry. Jeez, that's so hard to, can I get that in there? How is, let's see,
Move to your right. Here you
move
go.
to my right, okay. Is that okay? So once again, we start pinch, open, 2 and 4, like an A7 pinch. A slant pinch, 3 and 4. Shift to strings 1 and 3, and make a D chord. One more time. Ready, and. Okay. Okay, somebody's going to town. I don't know if they're playing this or something else, but okay. Now we're going to take one finger. I use my 3rd finger way up to the 10th fret. It's only 1 note on 1 string. And we're going to do this descending thing. So 10th fret of the 1st string, 7th fret, 5th fret, 2nd fret. You've often wondered why they put these position dots on your guitar. You're going to find out right now how, why they use them. So you're right. Every guitar is different, but use them as a guide. 10, 7, 5, 2. So let's put those 2 measures together. These are the important melody measures of the song. So I'll count to 2 and we'll start, because everything else is the last 2 beats of that measure. At the top, 1, 2. 1, 2. Let's do it again from the top. 1, 2. Up to 10. Okay, now he does a little bit of a grace note somewhere along that those descending 1st string notes. Let's see. It's sort of a hammer-on pull-off. If you want to do it, it's kind of cool. 10, 7. When you get to 5. Okay, let's do that whole section one more time. Here we go. 1, 2. Okay, and anything you want to do in the right hand, you don't really have time to alternate on those split measure places, but just strumming. I mean, there's nothing huge required of you there. There is a most wonderful little run coming up that we're going to learn, that if you're ever wondering how to, what an interesting thing to do on an A7 chord, this might be it. So we'll look at the last tab that's in this song on the last measure of the 2nd line. I think it's really brilliant if you can get yourself to do it. There are 2 sets of triplets there. So it's A7, bass, strum, bass, a slide to the 4th fret, then up to the 4th string, and drop in your other finger, and then you've got a regular A for a whole measure, so you can just hang out up there on the 5th fret, okay? So rhythmically, that's the hardest part of this measure. So rhythmically, it's 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3. Again, 1, 2, slide. Slide on the right string. Let's do that again. Here we go. 1. Again. Isn't that a slick little way to get to an A? Very cool. So the counting it is 1, 2, and see 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and if you need to write that down, that rhythm down, that might help you out later.
Mary, can I ask you, when you're doing the last part of that measure, I'm having trouble with the timing on the 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. The 2, 4, and then the 2 double notes.
Right. The last part of that measure, they're all 8th notes, so they would be counted 3 and 4, and they come fast. Even though it's a slow song, they come at you. I mean, I've many times kind of screwed that up because I realize I have to shift from the, see. The second I hit that 4th fret of the 4th string, I've got to shift up a half step and drop in a finger. So just those notes. So it's 3, 3, let's see, 3 and 4 and that's a really nice little lick. I was really happy to find that little gem buried in this song.
They're not really 8th notes, they're triplets.
That's what I said, triplets.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I said, oh, did I say 8th notes? Sorry.
I thought so.
In the
but-
beginning, I think I said triplets. 2 sets of triplets. So I'm going to give you a second to go over the first 2 measures, just a couple of times, and this measure of A7 a couple of times. The whole thing together. Any questions so far? You're all geniuses. It's good.
That, where does the first beat come in for the next measure?
For the A on the 3rd line,
For the next measure, yeah.
uh,
How does that tie into the measure before?
sorry?
How does that tie into the measure before?
Well, the A will last for 4 beats, just kind of with a pick strum, pick strum. So 1. I would go right to the bass note of the A on the first beat of that measure and just stay on it for 4 beats. So let's see. Yeah. So there's no melody there, so you're just hanging out on a chord. So let me say something about the way he does this. He uses the first 4 or so measures, 4 or 5 measures as a solo. And he basically just plays chords while he's singing, which is kind of unusual. And my favorite part is hearing the sing, which is a note that's not in the chord, but that's the melody. Sing. I mean, if you think about it, that is total dissonance. But singing in this land, if you don't hang on that note forever, you won't notice it. But it's odd that that B7 sing, there's no D in a B7. Last singing in this land somewhere. So anyway, it's really cool, but it is really dissonant if you hang out on that D note for a long time. So are we ready to try the whole thing? You can try singing it if you'd like. I'd love to hear somebody sing this that can actually sing it. And I wish you luck, because the chances of it being in your key are probably not real good, but.
I wish I knew it. This is Christina. It's a beautiful tune. I don't know it though.
Yeah, well, you've heard us do it numerous times. You probably could sing it. I will do my last.
I'm gonna.
We'll work on that.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Here's the problem is it's a low B note that starts at I will do my last, I will do my last. So that's the low note, and can't even remember what the high note is, but it's too high for me. So, all right, let's put the whole thing together. So no fancy right hand. It's kind of a strum or a bass strum. Whatever you want to do, let's just try to make it through all those chord changes. Do it really slowly, about like this. It's really taking it easy. And I'll count to 2 and we'll go. 1, 2. 1, 2. Sharp 7. Here it comes. F sharp. Short bar on the 3rd fret with the again. Take a solo on the first 4 measures or so. And start the song over again. Sorry about it. No, I screwed it up. Anyway, you see how he will use the first 5 measures as a little solo, and then he'll go right back to the beginning of the song and play it through singing with just chords. So that's a pretty beautiful arrangement. If you can get those extra notes in, it really makes it sparkle, or just play the chords and sing it.
Can you show us again the melody notes you were doing on the third line? Looks like you had some nice melody notes there.
Oh, I probably did something. What did I do? Well, the melody notes there on the D sharp in the third line. That would be the first string of the D chord. And playing the F sharp, that same note is melody. Down somewhere across the sea. So if you want to get melody in there, I don't know how it will be. And maybe somewhere sailing across the sea. Is that what you mean? I don't
Yeah,
know
that's
who
what I was
asked that.
that's what I was talking about. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, so it's pretty simple. Follow your ear and try to pick those notes out. If you know the melody, that's the start. That's where you got to start, is knowing how the melody works. But a lot of these notes that you sing are in the chords and easy to pick out in the treble end, which is right where you want.
His recording of that live at the Newport Festival.
I think that's where I learned it from, Mark.
It's it brings tears to your eyes. It's like he's getting ready to leave, to die.
Yeah.
You know, it's
I
really.
remember it's probably in the 60s,
I don't know.
maybe.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Just really beautiful.
I think that's maybe the only record. That's the only one I could find, actually.
Oh, okay, that might be. It's really.
But it's gorgeous.
There's a question from Rochelle about where the measure is, what measure is the B flat in?
It is the last measure of the third line. And what I have written there is G sharp diminished, but the correct chord should be B flat 7. That's that. Looks just like an A7 short bar on the 3rd fret. And I started out learning this song. I mean, I heard John Cephas do this years ago, and he did it in C. And all this time I've thought that would be the key to play this song in, but I was surprised to find out it was actually done in D. So C is singing in this land, somewhere, singing in this land, child somewhere. God will be somewhere across the sea. Sea, I don't know what sea. I was in my last singing in this land, somewhere. So I don't know, that it's a little more doable in the C, maybe, although I don't know about all those single note melodies. Yeah, it almost gives you religion, doesn't it? It's close.
Almost.
Yeah, and this, you know, the guys that did this secular music, they would do blues and they do gospel, and it was all fair game, and you know, just a closer walk with thee, and these beautiful songs. And of course, Gary Davis wrote about everything that he did. And there's the big story about Gary Davis, who taught everybody, Ernie Hawkins, who we're just talking about, and my ex-husband studied with him, and you know, God, the whole list of them. Bookbinder, and all these guys, they would study with him for $5 for an hour in his basement. And he was a reverend. He didn't want to do the blues stuff, the devil's music. So they would talk him into doing it, and he'd do a blues song. But then his wife Annie would be coming downstairs basket of laundry, and he'd change mid-measure into a gospel song. He was
Also, Woody Mann,
notorious for that. What's that?
Also, Woody Mann spent a lot of time with
Oh.
him as an adolescent or a mid-teenager.
Yes, Woody Mann, his parents made an agreement with them, and they took Woody to his house every Saturday while he was a teenager to spend the day either cooking with Annie in the kitchen or taking lessons or going to a festival or whatever. And I was at a seminar with Woody, and he was playing cassette tapes of his lessons with Gary. And Gary would play something, and he'd say something like, let's learn this tune. And Woody, in this high voice, would say, I don't want to learn that. So, picky little kid. So they would move on to a song that he liked better. So, but imagine, he's probably spent 2 or 3 years every Saturday with Gary Davis. So an amazing opportunity.
David Bromberg is
Dick
in my
Weissman.
hometown now, and he studied with him too. He
Yeah.
said, and Roy Bookbinder does a whole thing at his show, or he used to, where he did the Annie coming down the steps and going
Yeah.
back.
Yeah, it's crazy. Woody wrote a
Weissman.
song called Just Play. If you want to read a nice short book, it's on Amazon. It's really good. And it talks about taking lessons from Gary Davis and what he's learned from taking lessons and practicing all these years. And Lenny Tristano, is that the jazz guy in New York? He studied with 2 or 3 different jazz guys, and they were really tough on him. And so it's a cool book called Just Play. So if you're interested in kind of reading some pretty cool stories about what it was like studying with these people and the impact it made on his playing. Pretty good.
Dick Weissman knew him too, and he knew.
Who did?
Dick Weissman.
Oh, of course, yeah. Well, all those New York guys knew him because he lived there. And a lot of the guys remember seeing him playing on the street before they ever spent time with him. They'd see this blind guy on the street. I mean, who would trust that the money in your hat was going to stay in your hat if you couldn't see, if you couldn't protect it? So I don't know how he did that, but he finally
He
was
had a-
able to make
He had
money.
a gun.
What?
He kept a gun in his guitar case. Here's one of those
Oh.
books that he put out. Oh, What a Beautiful City. That's a book about Gary Davis.
Now, whose book is that?
It just says a tribute. It's compiled by Robert Tilling, and it was called "Oh, What a Beautiful
Oh,
City."
yeah. I actually think I have that, but I don't remember the cover looking the same. That's
When
interesting.
I went to Fur Peace Ranch, Yorma's camp, Hoppy Traum was there, but so was Woody, and I got to hang out with Woody, and he was telling stories about when he was a kid hanging out with Reverend Gary Davis.
I bet. It'll change your life, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a lucky guy. So,
I got
well,
to
let's
hang out
see.
with Mary Flower.
What's that?
I got to hang out with Mary Flower.
That and a token will get you on the bus, man.
For the last 10 years. Great,
What?
Mary. It's been a great 10 years.
Yeah, it has been 10 years. The
Actually,
camp
you
is a
know-
great place to hang out. I'm just sorry we're not physically at the camp, but
Did you
that's all right.
Did you mention the book that you recommended once, Say No to the Devil?
Oh, yeah, that's right here.
Terrific. Terrific book.
Yeah, this is Ian Zach.
Yep.
Oops. And this is a wonderful book. Ian just wrote another one about who's the black folk singer woman? My brain.
Elizabeth Cotton.
No. Singer, guitar player. I'll think
Rosetta
about it.
Tharpe.
What?
Rosetta Tharpe.
No, she just
Rhiannon
died.
Giddens?
What?
Rhiannon Giddens?
No, She died. She was a bit of an activist. She died in the
Odetta?
last couple of years. I'll think of it.
Odetta.
Odetta, yes. He just did the biography on Odetta, which I guess is a really good read. Ian Zach is another New York guy who used to write for acoustic guitar, but I don't think he does anymore. Anyway, some great reading material there to go along with this. I wouldn't mind going back to the first song. Would anyone mind that?
Nope.
Well, too bad if you do. Because you're all muted. I can't hear you anyway. No, you're not all muted. Let's go back to I Saw the Light and see how that one works now. So what do we got here? Are we, let's see, is this over at 2:45? Is that right? Did everyone hear the message about the lunch hang link? Did anyone not hear that? Whoa, everyone just went away. Whoa, you're viewing Rachel Nordman's stream. Wow, what happened to my something happened to my Zoom view options.
Yeah, mine as well.
Wow.
You're sharing your screen now.
All I see is.
Mine too, but you're all the way over on the right now.
Yeah, Rochelle shared her screen, which is a problem.
Oh,
Rochelle.
well, Rochelle, what are you thinking? Let's get, there we go. Thank you. Okay, that's better. I just didn't want us to go away too fast. So, all right, let's go back to I Saw the Light in the key of C. Play it slowly. Remember the rhythm of. I can do that right. Now, Phil, when you go back to Pittsburgh, you can get Ernie to show you how to play this correctly. And I'm sure he will have some improvements for you. So here we go from the top. Let's see if I can get my hand in there. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again. Second line. One morning I was walking alone. I saw the light from the heaven come down. I heard a little voice, I saw no one. I saw the light from the heaven coming down. I saw that light, Lord. I saw that light, good Lord. I saw that. I saw the light from the heaven. I'm going to do that little thing. Bum, 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 ba-dum, up on the 4th fret. Try it again. Ba-da-da, bum, 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 ba-dum. Singing, I saw, second line, that light, Lord. I saw that light, good Lord. I saw that. I saw the light from the heaven coming down. little bit differently. You keep going. Second line. I'm gonna argue with the father, gonna chat with the son. I'm gonna tell him about the world that I come from. Singing I saw that, yes, I saw that light, good Lord, I said I saw that. And here's the ending. C, C7, F, F minor. Ending's not written down. That's one of Gary Davis's many cool little endings in C. C, C7, F. A really cool chord to put in here is A flat 7. First 4 strings barred like an A7, only down at the first fret. That's a hard syncopated lick to get. The bass is bum, 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 chromatic open, 1, 2, 3, back to a C in the bass. And I'm adding picking, and then 2, 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, 3, 4. So C, 7, F, A flat 7. And I'm not convinced he used that ending. That's one of many he could have used. Very possible. But I'd repeat that little da 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 da, and then launch into that little ending, which is a sweet little ending to use. What do you think? Can you all play this okay?
The rest of the is the rest of the song available with your endings? Maybe I didn't print it.
No, you printed it. I just thought of that ending right now. I wasn't really
okay.
thinking about endings. You got a pencil?
I do.
Okay. 2 beats on a C. 2 beats on a C7. 2 beats on it. I think that's 1. Yeah. 2 beats on a C, 2 beats on a C7, 2 beats on an F, 2 beats on an A flat 7, just like an A7, down a half step. And then this kind of syncopated open 6 string, first fret, second fret. The best thing to do would be come back to this video when it's recorded and catch the ending, because I don't have it written out, but here's how the bass gets incorporated with that picking. We're going 6, 3, 2, switching to an F and going 6, 3, 2. F sharp in the bass, 6, 3, 2, with a D7 shape on strings 2 and 3. G. A lot of times I'll play my G with just these 2 notes. 3rd fret, 3rd fret, 6th string, 4th string. So the whole thing is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You could all. We could take a whole hour and and do Reverend Gary Davis endings. But so any kind of turnaround would fit in there. Or make up your own little ending. So he had a whole bunch of tricks. So any questions for this? Let's see, there are some chats that I've missed. Oh. Well, thanks for that set list. We're not doing any of those songs though. I know some of them. I don't do them all right. Some hard stuff, that soldier's drill. Bum, bum. Okay. Any other questions? I think that's a
I got a
bunch of,
question, Mary, just real quick. What's if I've taken these off videos, but I think some lessons. What's the best way to get a hold of you to see if you had time for Zoom lessons? Website, Facebook, Messenger?
email mary@maryflower.com.
Thank you.
Sure. I charge $6,000 for an hour.
Not 5 like the Rev?
Yeah, right.
Worth it.
It helps if you bring teacher and apple to your lessons.
Apple or other things.
Or a flower?
Chocolate.
Chocolate, fine bottle of Chardonnay.
$6 grand, cheap at twice the price.
Such a deal. So what's up next? We got choice of Christina doing
Queskin.
Practice Makes Perfect, or Jim Queskin, Songs and Sources. Boy, what a tough thing that is. I like to go in and out and do a little bit of one and switch to the other. And so you feel free to do that. You're probably going to drive your host crazy, but that's all right. That's what they're there for. They're strong, aren't you, Robert?
Absolutely. We're here to serve.
Yeah, that's right. So, but yeah, I'd like to do both these. Remember, you can always come back and see the recorded one of, whichever one you want. So if you want to stick with one class and then come back for the other one later, that's great. So, okay.
Mary, how do you access those recorded videos?
I don't think we have that information yet.
Okay.
I think they're kind of dealing with current things, but I guarantee you will have it. And
You'll get a link eventually.
yeah,
Okay.
from Lori probably. So, and you'll have a year with them. So that'll be kind of nice. So anyway, lovely spending an afternoon with you, and I'll see you all later.
Thanks,
It's
Mary.
been fun. Have a good time.
Thanks, Mary.
Sure. You're very welcome. My pleasure.
Thanks, Mary.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
You're welcome.